Hello and welcome to Homestead Imaginations. I am Josh and we are doing another episode of Don't Do This. Don't follow my lead. Another episode of What Not to Do. So I've got this fence that I've showed off. I had an access gate here that's 12 feet long in the back. It basically goes to the back of the orchard. This is where I come in with a side-by-side. This is where I come in with the mower. And maybe if I ever need to, the goal was to have a tractor. Well, I did not design this well. I did not realize that putting in a gate really should be on level ground. First mistake. So here it's like, in this back corner, it's level. It does start to have a very slow incline here, but even if the gate was like here, it wouldn't be that bad. But I literally picked the worst place to potentially put this. It starts here and then it's a very quick gradient as we go up here, and then it gets pretty steep as we go up. Here is the one corner that is pretty far down. Let me grab the tape measure. I forget exactly how far down it is. Let's see. That is, I'd say roughly 15, maybe 16 inches down from the corner of the surface here. I also, this pole, you can kind of see the remnants of like why it's gray. That was all cemented in, so this got cemented in, so I've had to use a little sledgehammer jackhammer to break away all the cement that was around this black pole. I think I have a little bit more to do. I think this little corner of it here that will need to get broken down. And then that's down. And as you come across, it gets less deep. And then here, it's just sitting on the ground. So that's good from this side. So what I did is I just started with a level here. I had a 2 foot level, then the 4 foot, and then a 6 foot level. So I started with 2. I just leveled the 2, then leveled the 4, then leveled the 6, and then basically put the 4. I think I started and I put the 4 over there, and then I put the 6, and then basically just kind of leveled this out. So right now my fence is level. I put a level sitting on the top bar here, and it is level. So now I've got to basically dig all this out. So what I've been doing is just been grabbing this gate and just pulling it until I get stuck. So I kind of got stuck there, so I got more to chip there, but then like I can lift it and go a little bit further. And basically I'm trying to just remove what I need to. I'm trying not to remove too much. Because then I'm gonna have to, on the other side, have to like kind of skim the surface and remove some of this as well, so that way this isn't like a ledge when I open the door, and just try and have it be just a steep gradient up and out. I might just focus on, for now at least, I might just this side to like here where it's not too bad. I might just level that out a little bit and leave that, depending on how long this is going to take. This project's already, I've been working on this all week trying to get this figured out and leveled. Getting there, but it's going to be a little bit longer. Luckily, this also dips down as we go this way, so I won't have as much soil to take out from like this section, because it is coming down. So I'm hoping, my goal is to just at least have it come out to like, perfectly would be like having it come straight out this way, so like everything from there over would need to be dug out a little bit. But I mean, at least for right now, I at least can use the gate now, so that's a plus. Like I can actually latch the gate, I can open it, and I can at least walk through this space. So the gate's at least functional, but then once I get this all dug out, I'm gonna take, I got just like loose netting. That's basically like kind of the fence for the gate. But the rabbits have like gotten underneath it. They've chewed on it. So I'm gonna actually put hardware cloth just on the bottom row of this, just having it going across and then strapped to this just for the bottom so they can't chew through that, and then just leave the netting up top because that's fine. The rabbits aren't going to interfere with that. So that was the big mistake, is putting it on an incline. So this is how I'm fixing it. I had asked some friends in a conference call the other day, and one suggestion was actually to just like put stones underneath, but it was so far off that, I mean, the fence itself was tilted. It wasn't even like parallel, and then even now, like, it's not perfect, but it'll work. And I'm all about just if things will work. So it's a little tight, but it latches, so it does the job. So I might leave it, but the gap down here is a little bit wider than the gap up here, so I might tweak it a little bit. It might need to go down a little bit more, and then that would help with that, but I don't know if I'm going to do that. As long as this works, I can open this successfully with no problems, like it's not an issue, I'm probably just going to leave it. And then the other thing I'm going to want to do, at least to start with, is lay the hardware cloth at the base of this. So I will need to like level this at least somewhat, even on the other side, and then so to prevent the animals from digging underneath the fence. So I might even bury hardware cloth like down in to prevent the digging. But on my other gate that I use for the chickens, I did the same kind of thing for the door, and I just put it under there, and I haven't had any digging issues trying to dig underneath. The bunnies really aren't gonna probably try and dig too much into this. They usually dig in like the softer dirt that's like in the woods, that's completely covered, isn't getting beaten up and dried up by the sun. So this is probably will be all right and will work. But if not, I can always then add it after. But so that was one issue. Then the other issue is, like, this gate is 12 feet long. I didn't account for the distance of like these, like the brackets. So we got these two brackets here. You know, one there to support and this to go on top of. Same thing up top. And I don't even have them going straight. One, because I don't want a big gap here. That one's a little bit more straight. That one will actually probably get pulled out, and maybe that's why there's a little bit of a gap there. Probably pull this that way, like that way, so it pulls this a little bit closer. This will be a little bit closer. That is the goal. That's not tight. So that was tighter. I think that was in a different spot, but as I'm moving and opening and closing the gate, it's moving that slowly. But once I get this set and the gate can open and swing, I'm going to get that set in exactly where I want it, and then I'm going to tighten that so it doesn't move. Because I want that tight, so that way hopefully nothing gets in. Then I'll be able to take the fence and then tuck it into that spot to prevent any of the rabbits getting there. And then same thing with here. I'll put a little fencing just right in this spot, going around the pole to the other side, just to prevent any of the critters trying to get in that way. So I didn't count for those brackets. Same thing with here. I didn't count for like this space in between, so that way this could actually open and close successfully and, you know, be good here. So I already cut an inch off the piping off this gate just to get this far. I might have to cut more. I'm thinking it's all right. If I think I need to pull that and then tighten it, and I think this will be okay, because that was definitely working a little bit better. That's closer than it was, and I think that's because it's slowly moved as I've been trying to open and close the door. But either way, I didn't count for that space, so like you couldn't even get the gate to fit in between here, especially originally before I even dug this trench. Like, it could not fit, so the fence actually was always like hanging over here, and then I used a bungee cord to just wrap it to this post just to keep it shut. So opening and closing this is a pain in the butt right now, just to get the mower in, and if I do need to bring the side-by-side in. So it has been a pain, but now I'm at least able to get it open, and I'm going to keep digging this out to level it so that way it can open. But I had to take off each corner, which is screwed in, and then holes drilled into the framing of the beam that goes across here. So I had to unscrew it, hammer it off, undo that clasp there, and then unscrew that corner up there, pop that entire side off, and then on all 3 legs I had to then cut the metal off. And I don't have like a power saw that can cut metal. I have a little hand saw that's good for cutting metal, so I had to sit there and slowly cut the 3 tips off. I cut 1 inch off. I thought that'd be enough. Maybe should have gone maybe 1.5 inches. So we'll see. I might have to take this back off and then cut a little bit, but I'm not going to know until I get probably everything cleared and I'm fully using this gate, and then seeing how it flows before I do that. And then once I do that, then I'll drill the holes back into the corner, into that and that. And then I've also had to loosen, so this little bracket thing goes into the corner, and you've got those ties that go from corner to corner, and that supports and keeps this nice and square and tight. So those are both loose. They're just hanging on the fence here. I don't think the camera's really picking them up, but you can kind of see they're wiring a little bit like this loop. That's their the cable now that's loose. So I'll retighten all that once I get this actually gate functioning, opening and closing. But this was my mess that I've created. Don't put a gate on elevation if you can avoid it. And if it's at least slightly elevated, you can do some easy minor fixes, like, you know, crush stone or whatever underneath to just where there's a gap, or you can dig a little deeper if you want to do it that way. But this was massive. This was at such a bad spot. This is where it really starts to incline. So my mistake, never put in a fence before. I'd watched a bunch of videos. I don't think I ever heard anyone say that. They could have. It was a lot of information to take in, trying to learn how to put the fences in, what kind of fence to get, all that kind of stuff. So it was a lot. So I made mistakes along the way for sure. If I ever had to put in another fence, which hopefully I'd never have to, this took forever. This is such a very large area. I think it was like 550 perimeter feet from like fencing to go around. So, and the house and the deck and the front porch take up part of that spacing. So I didn't need a fence for that whole side, basically. So it's a big area, for sure. So I think it was 30 something posts, 38 maybe. I lost count. But it was a big undertaking. So hopefully I never have to put in another area that I'd want to fence in like this. So, but if I do, I've learned a lot. But definitely one thing I learned is definitely the gates. I won't ever make that mistake again, and I hope you don't either. So if you're looking to make and put in a fence, learn from me. Don't do this, because this has been a week-long project so far, just trying to figure this out, get it leveled, figure out what I need to do, start digging, I had to use a jackhammer just to break the cement. So it's a big project, and I'm going to work on this for a couple more hours tonight before the sun goes down. And I might be able to get the door open all the way. I don't even know if that'll be enough time, but I'm hoping to get this done this weekend, so that way the gate will open and close. I definitely need to get it done at least far enough where it opens far enough where I can get the mower in, because I'm going to need to mow this weekend. So yeah, don't be like me. Don't make these silly mistakes. I guess this is, why I put out some of these videos, is to hopefully help someone. If I can help one person, I just save someone a ton of time from making a big mistake. So because this mistake is costing me quite a bit of time. Luckily, it's not going to cost me money, but it's going to cost me a lot of time, which is stopping me from doing other things to help secure this fence line, which is the current project, is just trying to get this closed up so the bunnies stop getting in here and eating all my stuff. And so I gotta get this gate fixed, and then I've been putting the chicken wire down along the bottom here. I got this whole back row pretty much done, and then I ran out of fencing, so I got more, but I need to go and do this whole back from the corner all the way up to the front. And I can't do the front until the garden is done this year. That's where I'm growing our pumpkins. All our vine plants are growing along the very front of the house, so I can't fence that now because it'll interfere with the plants. I don't want to damage any of the plants, so I'm just letting that go for this year. If the bunnies get in that way, it is what it is. But I will get it closed off as soon as the gardens are done this year. That'll be the very first thing that I do to get this closed off, so next year I am good to go. Hopefully animal proof some things. So that is the current project right now. It's gonna be a while. This definitely is a huge setback. This definitely took longer than I thought. I'd be like, oh, I'll just go out there and kind of dig, but this is thick clay, and it hasn't been easy. So don't make this mistake. Learn from me on, of course, what not to do. Eventually, you'll be able to learn what to do. But right now, it's a lot of what not to do. So thank you for watching. I hope this helps. I hope this helps you prevent an issue if you're putting in a fence. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Keep the imagination rolling. Bye-bye.